Hey, my friends, Stephen Brooks here, and I teach traders who have $25,000 or more in their portfolios how to generate a very reliable salary, trading as much as 2 hours a day or even as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we use an AI automated trading bot that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now, a lot of what I talk about on this channel has nothing to do with the actual trades that you place. The reason why I say that is because in my experience, after doing this for a number of years, after working with a number of students I've worked with, success or failure, and the difference between success and failure never has to do with the actual trades, right? There are trades, there are systems, there are strategies that are better than others. There's no doubt about that. But overall, if a trader is not getting the results they want, it's never about the actual strategy. It's never about the actual system. It's always something else. And it's mostly the things that don't have to do with the actual trades that individuals have 100% control over. One of the biggest signs that a trader is going to be wildly unsuccessful is the amount of effort that they put in. And at the same time, one of the traits that is very obvious to me very early on when a trader comes on board that they are going to be super successful is really effort. And I'll give you a perfect example today. And whenever somebody comes into a new program of mine, we have a framework. We have a system. We have a strategy. We have system strategies and frameworks that are very rules-based. Right? The simpler it is to follow, the better chance you have of being able to get it right and then achieve said result. And what I always tell new students is the information, the systems, the frameworks that we provide you can only ever get you 90% of the way there. That final 10% that really is kind of the make or break is based on you going out there, doing the thing, and you figuring out which version of the thing works really well for you. And I actually, a couple minutes ago, got off of a call from a very successful trader who, by the way, a couple months ago was not successful whatsoever. And in speaking to them now, super successful. And in talking to this person, the difference from my perspective, the difference between this person a couple months ago really not doing well, really being inconsistent, unreliable, not getting the results that they desire, to now talking about getting 150-point winners in the NASDAQ, which for those that don't know, every point in the NASDAQ is $20. So this person's doing $3,000 individual trades multiple times over the past couple of weeks. And if I could really put my thumb on it, or really put a pin on why this person was able to be successful, is because they finally did the thing enough to figure out which version of our framework works really well for them. And I'll give you exactly what this person did. So we have this concept of levels each day. Levels where we know before the market even opens, where market makers who are very large participants in the market because they take the other side of every options trade. But we have levels in the market where we have very high conviction that the market makers will step in to buy to support prices or sell to resist prices. So in short, we have these levels that we know about even sometimes hours before the market opens, where the market should be supported or should be resisted. And these levels are very accurate. If you're fortunate enough to be one of the people who are in our groups who get access to these levels, they're ridiculously accurate. Like, you would be shocked almost how accurate they are. Now, this person was given these very accurate levels every single day. Still wasn't really getting the results that they desired. This person was getting access to the framework of how to take advantage of these levels every single day. Still wasn't really getting the result that they wanted. But then actually got out a spreadsheet and said, you know what? This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. Let's try this. And let's take the levels that are given to me and let's put our own little twist on them. Let's put our own little formula on them. And all of a sudden, he's like, wait, this makes a lot of sense to me. This really makes a lot of sense to me. This really fits the type of trading I want to do, and it makes a ton of sense. So let me try that. And all of a sudden, winning trade, small losing trade, winning trade, small losing trade, winning trade. Not because the person had access to different information. They didn't. They were still getting the same levels every day. Right? Not because the person had access to a different system, right? The person had access to the same video content and the same PDF guides with rules than they had before. But they finally were able to figure out that final 10% of, you know what? A version, sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. Let me figure out the times that it does. Let's figure out what's similar about those. And let's kind of maybe put our own little twist on it so I can see clearly the version of it that works really well for me. And that person went from, again, basically chopping by, meaning sometimes they make money, sometimes they lose money, but overall they're flat, to losing a little bit, to having multiple trades in a given week that are $3,000 winners. So for the people out there, if you're not getting the level of success that you desire, I want you to hear a couple things from me right now. Number one, the trades that will be responsible for your success, you have already done. Trades that you have already done can be responsible for your success. So very rarely do you have to be taught a brand new strategy or a brand new type of trade. Now, again, there are certainly strategies that have a mathematical edge that do work better than ones that at least don't have a mathematical edge. But for the most part, you have participated and you have done trades that are good enough for this to work for you at a consistent level. And the reason they're not is because it could be a couple things. Number one, you just haven't done it enough, so you don't really have the experience or you don't really have the repetitions. Number two, you don't track what you do, so you don't really know. The data isn't really able to show you clearly what works and what doesn't work. Or number three, you haven't figured out that final 10%, which is always a combination of less repetitions and not tracking what you're doing, to be able to say, you know what? Like, this is the version that makes a lot of sense to me. This is the version that works for me. Let's go ahead and try that. So again, like this student still needs our levels every day, still needs the framework that we provide every day, but is able to get the outcome because they went through that final 10%. So again, if you're one of those people that are not getting the results that you want, the answers are already under your nose. Like you're already standing on top of the answer. You just think that it's a brand new trade that you've never heard of that will get you the results that you want. Again, it's true. There are trades, there are strategies, there are frameworks, there are systems that are better than others. No doubt. But I mean, even on this channel, we have dozens of trades that have a mathematical edge built in. So it's not like you even need to leave the channel to be able to find a trade that has a mathematical edge that you just beat the shit out of it, do it enough so that it works. But ultimately, where a lot of traders fail is that final 10%, right? Is like, okay, let's really think about this. Let's really log everything that we're doing. Let's really look at our track record. Is there a version of this that makes a little bit more sense to me? Is there a version of this that works a little bit better for me? The answer is always yes. And the problem is, a lot of traders don't really sit down and go through that exercise to be able to find it. I have something called the salary system. The average person who trades our salary system makes over $5,000 a week. I'll say that again. We have something called the salary system, right? The average person who actually does the salary system makes on average more than $5,000 a week. That's $20,000 a month or more than $250,000 for the year. And this is average, meaning we have many people that do over $10,000 like every single week, maybe 1 out of 10 weeks or 2 out of 10 weeks they don't. But in those weeks where they do make money, they make over $10,000. We do that frequently. In fact, very frequently. And what I could tell you is none of those people trade 100% identical on the exact same system. None of them do. Everyone has the exact same system everyone has the exact same framework, but they have figured out the version that works really well for them, that they can really understand very well, and they can do it, they can know it like the back of their hand. And again, these are all people who have the same information, the same framework. They all put their little twist on it, and everyone's getting very similar results. So again, if you are not getting the results that you desire, you may be missing this part. You may be missing the whole, hey, what have I tried? What has worked? What hasn't worked? What does the data tell me? What should I start to put a little bit more focus on and a little bit more attention on? Right? Again, think of the person I started off now. Went from basically chopping by to having multiple $3,000 in a single week because he actually put out a piece of paper and started writing down information and said, you know what? These have worked really well for me. These look like they're really accurate. And let me go ahead and double, triple down and become kind of a master at putting my own little twist on it. And again, like I said, we have people in our salary system that use our salary system, make 50 grand in a month. And we have many multiple of them, dozens of them who do that. And they all get the same information. They all have the same support. They all have the same framework. But they all have figured out the version of it that works really well for them. Some of them will only do put spreads. Others will only do call spreads. Others will be done at noon. Others will trade in the afternoon. But each of those started with the same base, 90%, and then it really took a little bit of experimenting, a little bit of logging data, a little bit of critical thinking, and actually just kind of sitting down and thinking through the process to be able to get them to the promised land, which is, hey, yeah, a lot of people want to make $10,000 a month. They're doing $10,000 weeks. Like, all right, it's March 18th. Probably they've all done it so the people that make over $10,000 in a week have done it every week this year, except for maybe one, truthfully speaking. So again, like that is the difference for a lot of people. And a lot of people will fall short of that because they don't go into the logging of the actual trades or a little bit of critical thinking about the framework that they need to massage a little bit, right? It's no different than if you're proofreading a paragraph and it's a semicolon, and you think it should be a comma. That's that final 10%. That's what I'm talking about. And it's not overly complex, just most people have never really sat down and took the time to go through it so they can really understand the iteration that they put on it and run from there. So again, my name is Stephen Brooks. I teach traders with $25,000 or more in their portfolios how to generate a very reliable salary, trading as much as, again, 2 hours a day. It could also be as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we have an automated AI trading bot that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. If that is something that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click on the link I've added to the description of this video. That is going to send you over to my team's calendar. Go ahead, schedule a call, and book a time to speak with somebody on my team. On that call, we will ask you a bunch of questions and see if you are a good fit to join our program and be a part of our group. If you are, we'll extend you an invitation right there on the call. If not, no big deal. We may have other stuff or be able to point you in maybe a direction that's a little bit better suited for who you are. If you're not interested in getting those kind of results, no big deal. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead, subscribe, share it with a friend, smash the bell so you can be notified for additional videos as they come. But at the end of the day, like traders, people who manage their own portfolio, who are looking to generate additional income from what they already have, like if you're unsuccessful, it's never because you're a bad trader. If you're unsuccessful, it's never because you don't know any special or secret trade. It's never that. And again, there are a number of things it could be, but one of the biggest things that I see is the unsuccessful really don't ever sit down, log all their trades and say, you know what, like trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday until noon, I make money. And if I trade every other time, I don't. So I'm just going to trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the morning. Like that's what I'm talking about there. Putting your own little twist on it, putting your own little iteration on it. So if you've never gone through that exercise, more than likely the answer to all your problems, right? The solution to all your problems is probably right there under your nose. And quite frankly, it's probably been there the whole time. So I'll see you in the next video.